switch off.
Hi guys, welcome back to Blind Side, and today we're going to look at the YWC and my opinions on the different channels, the established channels, and I'm going to focus on four. Number one on my list is JD from NY. Then we're going to look at Grimm's Toy Show. We're going to look at What Culture. And then the newest channel, Cultaholic. They're the four that I subscribe to. There are plenty of others. WrestleMania, Wrestling with Regret, which I don't watch because I think 4 opinions is enough. And I just don't have the time to watch more than that. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, me as a person, I'm not negative. I'm critical at times. But I always try and be optimistic and as positive as I can be. But I'm very honest in my opinions. For those that saw my Royal Rumble videos last night, I reviewed the last 20 minutes and I recorded it live. And I said at the time, I'm not happy with the ending. And I think I justified it. The reason I wasn't happy with the ending, I think WWE got the ordering wrong anyway. The crowd was pretty much dead after the men's Royal Rumble match, which you wouldn't expect in Philadelphia. You know, they're a raucous crowd. They know they're wrestling. Very smart crowd. So I think WWE got that wrong. But if you're going to put all the emphasis, and a lot of the emphasis was certainly about this history-making Women's Royal Rumble, the match was underwhelming, mainly because of the WWE booking of the women. You know, look at the people that have come up from NXT, and I'm thinking in particular about people like Sasha Banks and Bayley, who were absolute superstars in NXT. And you've got to say, a lot of people just don't care about these performers anymore. Not their fault. Like, I love Bayley, but she's been booked horrifically. She's been booked as a loser. You know, Sasha Banks hasn't really done anything for the last, 6 months, 8 months. The one person that they have maintained from NXT is Asuka, and she won the match, which was the right decision. But you've put all this emphasis on that, but and then you take Asuka's moment away from her by bringing out Ronda Rousey, who walks to the ring, points at the WrestleMania sign, and that's it. I just think it was an underwhelming end. You know, it would have been nice to let Asuka have a moment. But that was, you know, that's just my opinion. And you can disagree or agree or whatever. But, you know, the one thing that you get from me, and for those of you that haven't watched previous videos, the reason you get a different opinion from me is because 10 years ago in a football accident, I lost my sight. So I can't see. Now, I've always loved wrestling. My favourite wrestler is Bret Hart, without doubt. I used to love watching him. Excellent performer, blah, blah, blah. However, when I watch wrestling now, I have a feeling, and it's a feeling that most people that have sight, that review the product, are blinded to, because they're so focused on the in-ring action. I listen to the slam on the mat from a particular move. How does the crowd react? How's the commentary team portraying themselves? And that's why you should subscribe to this channel, because you're going to get a different opinion to anywhere else. You really are. I'm not going to go over, you know, how technical the matches were. I'm going to go over how the matches made me feel. Were there ups and downs in the matches? How did the crowd feel about the match? And that's why I say, you know, after the men's Royal Rumble last night, the crowd were dead. do the commentary team do a good job of investing you into what is going on in the ring? Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler always did that for me. That's why they're the best commentary team. Vince McMahon, I thought he was a great commentator. Used to love listening to him. Bobby Heenan, superb. You know, but we'll get into that another day. The first one, for me, in the YWC, we're going to talk about JD. WWE talks about polarising characters like John Cena and Roman Reigns. Characters that divide opinion. Half the crowd love them, half the crowd hate them. That's true in John Cena's case. In Roman Reigns' case, it's more like, what, an 80-20, 90-10 split in favour of a negative reaction. Certainly last night, you got the biggest reaction of the night, and it was a resounding boo when he entered the Royal Rumble. It was interesting, that. So, JD is one of these guys. Now, I'll be honest, I subscribe to JD, and I really like him. I really do. People say he's overly negative, and all he does is bitch and moan. I just think he's critical of a product that he loves. He's critical of a product that in the modern day does not stack up to what we have seen in previous times. And the frustration is that if you look at the current roster, you would have to say it is probably the best roster of wrestlers that WWE have ever had. You know, real wrestling talent. But they're not utilised. And the majority of the reasoning for that is because WWE have put all their eggs in one basket in Roman Reigns. And then, of course, the fans have revolted and rebelled against that. They don't want Roman Reigns. They want people like Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. You know, Finn Balor, the first Universal Champion, has he ever had his rematch from when he was injured? He had a great showing in the Royal Rumble last night. Absolutely fantastic. He was the Iron Man of the men's Royal Rumble. But ultimately, what is that going to come to? Probably nothing. So JD has lost his faith in the product. Let me tell you what you get from JD, though. You get somebody that is full of charisma, that has a personality which he is able to extract and portray in a very, very successful way, in my opinion. You know, yeah, okay, sometimes you do... I do put his videos on and think, oh, God, he's moaning again. But it's not that he's moaning, he's frustrated. I get it. But he always gives you an in-depth review. He gives you videos that are more substantial than any other wrestling YouTuber that I follow. Usually an hour plus. He's got a very successful podcast, Off the Script, which he brings out every single week in 2, 3 or 4 parts, usually 3 or 4, where he goes through all the news and rumours from people like PW Insider, Dave Meltzer, and he puts it all in a nice video for you. He gives his opinions, and this is the thing. This is all we do. We give our opinions. Certainly, we're not all going to agree. We're not all going to disagree. And some people portray their opinions in more of a diplomatic way. But JD's in your face. I will not criticise JD for what he does. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And he gets you invested. This is what I mean. I'm not looking at him on the screen. I've no idea what the dude looks like. You know, I'm feeling his energy in his reviews and in his Off the Script podcast. You have a look at any one of his videos and you always get the same energy. But what I like about him is he incorporates real life into it. Like if he's in a mood, if he's fed up with certain things, he'll tell you. You know, and I think it's very difficult as a podcaster to bring people into your reality. but he is real. He's the real deal, and I really enjoy him. So subscribe to him, JD from MY206. Have a look at his videos. He'll always give you a great review. He'll go through the shows up and down. He'll give you his opinions on every aspect of that show. And yeah, if people want to call him overly negative, then that's their opinion, which they're entitled to. But ultimately, he's just giving you his opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but ultimately, you're going to be entertained by his videos. What culture? Now, we'll do Grimm's Toy Show next, actually. Grimm is just a funny guy. Really funny guy. He's a vlogger. And, you know, a lot of his videos will be about his daily routines. And it's like they've got little characters. You've got the Grimmettes, his children. And, you know, that they get involved. And then Heel Wife, who's sort of always getting on his back about something, you know. But then there are times when they both laugh together. I love them moments, you know, when they're doing the mail and they find something funny. And you can't fake a laugh, like a real laugh. Not a Bray Wyatt laugh, that's fake, it's put on. Matt Hardy, woken, broken, whatever, fake, put on. You can tell it's not real. When they laugh, it's because they really find something funny. And they're just funny people. Very entertaining to watch. Grimm is not overly critical. He tries to be as positive as he can. If he doesn't like something, he'll tell you about it. But the difference with Grimm, he kind of glosses over the negativity. You know, he'll give his opinion, but really focus on the positives, as positive as he can be. You know, whereas JD will say, look, this was rubbish and this is why, and he will really go into it and try and make you understand why. Because JD, Grimm, all these people, they're not casual wrestling fans like the majority of people are these days. These are real wrestling fans that have a genuine passion for the product. Grimm, his videos are generally around about the 10 minutes long, just over. So, you know, if you want a shorter review, then that's what you're going to get from him. He has, again, great charisma, a great personality, in a different way to JD. Grimm's got his own wrestling company, GTS Wrestling. And, you know, you can see that, and I've never watched one of the videos, to be honest. I believe there is a YouTube channel where you can watch the GTS Wrestling videos. But I imagine he's really good. I imagine he's funny. And definitely worth a watch. You know, as I say, subscribe and watch him and watch the family as they go through life. And just loads of things seem to happen to them, you know, and it's entertaining stuff. It's like a real-life soap opera. You get videos most days from Grimm. And definitely worth a subscribe. He's really good. What Culture? They're in a bit of a renaissance at the moment. For those of you that don't know, some of the biggest characters in What Culture, they left and formed Cultaholic, which we'll talk about in a minute. What Culture have tried to carry it on and bring in new personalities. I think Simon is absolutely fantastic. Again, he's got a lot of charisma. He does his own little shticks. He does the Y series, like Y is WWE. Not as good as it used to be. And then he does this thing with his fingers and hands. And again, he's not overly negative. You know, he'll tell you if he doesn't like something, but more serious than Grimm, who will, you know, scream and laugh and certainly not as over the top as a JD. Like, you won't hear him shout and get annoyed. You know, it's very much matter of fact, but very well produced. I'm not overly keen on the other guys. that have come in, Jules and the other Adam. I think they'll grow on me in time, but they are kind of new to the scene of it all. But the good thing about What Culture, they have a lot of top 10 lists. They review the shows in a different way, like they do ups and downs. So they'll give you, in their opinion, what are the good points, what are the bad points. But again, it's all matter of fact. It's as a list, like, you know, it's not that they don't really get their personality over in their reviews. But again, a very factual review, and certainly worth subscribing. I love the lists that they bring out. I love the Y series that Simon does. And so, you know, again, another channel where there are advantages. And that's the thing. With this list, there's advantages and disadvantages. I've told you what the advantages of mine are. Now, to a lot of you guys, subscribing to me would be pointless. The guy can't see. How can he review wrestling? But I'm giving you a different opinion that no one else in the YWC can give you. And that's the cold hard truth. If you are not overly fussed about the moves that have gone on in the ring, I mean, obviously the commentators will say, you know, there was a triple moonsault last night at one point, and it was cool. It was a cool spot. Things like that, the commentators let me know what's going on, and that's great. So it's not like it's all about me and what I think. You know, I am reviewing the action as well. But there's a lot of areas in matches where it might be a bit boring. You know, not a lot's going on. And I pick up on that. You know, so it's a different review. And I guess it's up to you, you know, how you feel about that. I want to talk about Cultaholic. Cultaholic, and I'm not including Simon from What Culture in this. Cultaholic was the best of What Culture. You got Jack the Jobber, King Ross, Adam Pacitti, and what was Adam Blompier, and we'll talk about that in a second. And they left What Culture, and they started their own channel, and they're doing all right. Their subscribers are growing steadily, and they're getting a lot of views on their videos. Again, it's another channel where you'll get reviews from each show. A lot of lists, top 10s. If you like your top 10s, Cultaholic's great for that. They look at older stuff as well, which I like. You know, they listed all of the Royal Rumbles from best to worst and gave the reasons why, for example, in a recent video. Definitely good stuff, and I hope that they continue looking at the older stuff. Good personalities again, different characters here, so you kind of have to look at people individually. Jack the Jobber, he does like daily news. Like if there's breaking news, you'll get a 2-minute, 3-minute video of him just telling you what is going on. I think that's really cool for people that haven't got a lot of time but want to know what's going on behind the scenes, if you care. You know, if you want to know what rumours are, and you haven't got time to sit and watch like an hour show, like JD's Off the Script, where you know, you get a lot of information, which I do like as well. Then Cultaholic's great for that. King Ross, he used to do what was called WTF moments, and he has his own little catchphrases, and he sings, and he's just a funny guy. A lot of personality, a lot of charisma. And I know I've said that about a lot of these guys, but it's true, and that is why they're successful. You know, I wish I had half of their charisma and personality. You know, in certain areas of my life, I do. I'm actually a karaoke DJ, and I'm very good at that. You know, and I'll feel comfortable, and I can get myself across, like in an entertaining way. I'm still getting used to it on YouTube, I'll be honest. But hopefully we'll get there one day. You know, I don't know what people think of my videos. I seem to, you know, I'm growing in views. but not subscribers. So I don't know what that means, you know. But we'll figure it all out in the future. But yeah, King Ross is just a funny dude. You know, I like him a lot. And then Adam Pacitti, who is like, I always get the impression with Adam that he tries to be funny, but he doesn't pull it off. He's just too serious. He's quite down to earth, but he's very serious. Very factual. This is how it was. This is how it is. This is what's happening there. And some people like that, and I certainly do. You know, I'm very eclectic in my taste in music and what I like from a wrestling podcast, which is why I like all of these guys. They're all different. They're all very, very different. But again, you know, Cultaholic, you've got your reviews, you've got your top 10 lists, you've got your, you know, if there's anything important going on behind the scenes, you've got your little short videos about that. They have different series, and it's definitely worth a watch. So that's my review of the YWC. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you later.